So what we want to do now is keep working on that design to actually make it beautiful. So we definitely need more elements, right? So I'll insert another one, and I like these seagrass elements here. So I'm just going to move it around, rotate it a little bit, and basically create the design. So I think I'm done with the seaweed. Looks good to me. Now, one best practice I want to tell you is imagine that this pattern will be repeated horizontally multiple times next to each other, and the same thing vertically. So if you do, for example, let's just make it clear really. So if you put seaweed here, and then you put a seaweed here, when the pattern repeats vertically, these two will be right next to each other, here on top and here on the bottom. They're so close to each other that they're basically going to be connected. And you don't want that. You always want to imagine that this space here and this space here is how far they're going to be from each other. And you want to think like that. So you always want to make sure that the spaces make sense. You know, this space between the whale and this space between the seaweed is going to be like that. So make sure that your pattern makes sense. Don't do these things where you just place an object right, you know, to the side and then another one right here. You just want to make sure that the space between them is good enough. Later on, when we make them seamless, I'm going to show you how to fix these things if you don't like the spacing. So don't worry about it. Just for now, make sure that it's not really close to each other. So right now I'm going to do some adjustments to make my pattern more likable, or so that I like it more. And then we're going to talk about how to make some extra objects, how to create some extra objects on this pattern. I don't really like these empty spaces here, so at least I'm trying to create some new layers here. What you can do, of course, is just import another object, whatever you like. You can have these little seahorses here, make them tiny, for example, and make it a part of your pattern. Just be creative. It's yours. You can do whatever you want with it and just have fun. You're gonna get better at this, I promise. Just make sure that you like it. That's the most important, and the rest doesn't really matter. Okay, so I like this pattern, so let's keep it this way. Background is nice. I like these dusty colors. And what we can look into now is how to create some extra extra effects on the canvas to make the pattern more interesting. So Procreate has a lot of brushes, which are for you to choose from, or you can download your own. There are a lot of websites which sell Procreate patterns. I mean brushes. You can look at Etsy. You can Google. There's a lot of stuff you can do. But for now, if you want to use whatever you have in Procreate, if you don't have any extra brushes, that's totally fine. We will find something. And let's look at these brushes here, what we have, what we could use for our under the sea kind of theme. There are some water flicks here, I see. Water drip. Let's try these water flicks. So what we want to do is stay around this color scheme. So let's see, let's choose this one. Let's go a little bit lighter. Let's test it out. So water flakes. Now, you want to make sure that you are right above your background layer. Why is that? Is because if you had the layer on top, let's say we would have it on top of all these objects, that would mean that if you were drawing, you would be drawing all over them. But we don't want that, right? What we want to do is to go under, but right above the background. So we'll put this layer above our background layer, and now we can do a lot of stuff with it. So just make sure that you're on the right layer, and let's try. We can add some water flakes around our main objects, which would, act as bubbles. I don't really like that. It's just showing you the possibilities you can do. It's better. So you can make your pattern more interesting this way. I have some brushes which I had downloaded, so this looks maybe a bit better. You can just have fun, find your favorite brushes, find your own way to do this. What you want to do is, of course, fix up all these imperfections here afterwards, so you don't have like complete design. Need to them up, just polish it up. So that you're happy with your design. One thing which is really important is that you don't want your design to interfere with the border. Why is that? Is because if you made the flicks here, there would just be half a flick here. Then if we repeat, when we repeat the pattern vertically, there would just be nothing. It would just be like cut off, because you would have to make the second half here on top, which would exactly fit this one, which is close to impossible if you want to be fast. And so what we want to do is we want to stay off the edges for now, so that we have job as easy as possible. So I like my design. Let's say that this is done. And now I'm going to show you how to use grids and guides for your design if you don't really know how to place your elements.